Dear students, this is Dr. Praveen Tripathi, Faculty of Psychiatry, and in the Cerebellum Academy's Decoded series, we are talking about the strategies, the planning, and the miscellaneous thing which will help you improve your performance, get better results. And in this video, I would be talking primarily about how can you increase your study hours, how can you study more. And I'll be talking about some of the practical strategies that can be followed. So let's start. Now, to have a good day, it's extremely important that you start the day right. So the first thing that we'll talk about, starting the day right. What do I mean by this? When you get up in the morning, say in the first hour or in the first 2 hours, you had a good study session, you studied for an hour or so or 1.5 hours. By the end of that session, you are feeling good about yourself, right? After you study for an hour or so, you start feeling better, you start feeling more motivated. And if you can get into that good state of mind, in a good mood, the chances that you will continue studying for the rest of the day goes higher. So starting the day right is extremely important. On the other hand, if you start the day on a bad note, for whatever reason you are in a foul mood, you're not feeling good, it becomes more and more difficult for you to push yourself to study. So starting the day right is extremely important, and a large number of students end up feeling very guilty. They end up feeling very guilty if they do not start on a productive note. So I call this thing bed to study chair time. What is this? After getting up in the morning, how much time do you take before you start studying? So the whole idea is, if this bed to study chair time is less, in that case, what do I mean by this? Say within 40 minutes of getting up in the morning, you start studying. And within the 40 minutes, you have gotten into that right mode, the good mode, the motivated mode. And that would kind of set the tone for the rest of the day. Say you got up and you did not study for 3 hours. You did not study for 3 hours. Now by the end of the 3 hours, which you have wasted, you're feeling bad, you're feeling guilty. You are probably, saying all bad stuff to yourself, that what a stupid man I am, what a loser. All these things would be coming in the mind, and in that foul mood, it becomes even more difficult to start studying. So when you keep this bed to study chair time minimum, I usually say that it should be less than 1 hour, preferably less than 45 minutes. If you can start your day, your study day in less than 45 minutes, it means the productivity is going to be good. Also, sometimes what happens is, we are not in that good a mood, we don't feel like studying that much. And if you start reading something which is boring or something which is difficult, again you are not able to get into that zone, the study zone. So starting with something which is interesting, a subject that you like, is one of the options. You may start with something that you find interesting. Some students like starting with MCQs. In the morning they do some MCQs. Why is it good? Is that good? Solving MCQs is slightly simpler than reading the text. So whatever you read the last day, if you do MCQs of the same topic the next day, it is slightly easier and again helps you in getting into that zone. In some cases, you might actually start reading with some kind of motivational book, right? You can also do that, motivational book. If your exams are still far away and you have got some months with you, you might actually start reading some good book to start with, and that will give you the energy. So basically all these things are usually done to get into that study zone or the study mode. And the sooner you can get into that study mode in the beginning of the day, if you can get into that mode, the rest of the day becomes easier. But not always this will happen, right? There would be times when you wake up late in the morning. Say you had planned that you will get up at 8:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, and you have the entire timetable prepared. But you slept late in the night and now you have woken up at 11 o'clock in the morning. It's afternoon. You did not even have breakfast. Now you are in a really bad mood. You are again very frustrated, very angry, saying all kind of negative stuff to yourself. All those negative stuff are further worsening your mood. And what is happening? The 1.5 hour delay now would become a whole wasted day. So this second thing that I'm going to talk about is very important. Wasted session is not a wasted day. What do I mean by it? See, I will very strongly advise that you start seeing your day as made up of 3 sessions. Let's call it a morning session, an afternoon session, afternoon plus evening, and a night session. Let's put some numbers here. Say you get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. From 9 to 2 it's morning session. From 2 to 8 it's afternoon and evening. And from 8 to say 1 o'clock in the morning, you have the night session. Now you see these sessions separately. If you had planned to start your day at 9 o'clock, but instead you woke up at 11 a.m. in the morning, it does not mean that the entire day is wasted. What it means is that probably the morning session did not go according to the plan. If that happens, our plan B is that we will get into the study mode from the afternoon session. Rather than getting up at 11 a.m. and saying that the entire day is gone and let's do whatever we want to do now, we'll start studying from tomorrow. Rather than saying that, say yourself that okay, morning session got disturbed, got wasted, it's okay. From 2 o'clock the afternoon session starts and I'll fix everything from the afternoon session. So it's kind of a mental game, just a kind of mental adjustment that you're doing, which gives you a feeling that the entire day did not get wasted but a session got wasted. This is extremely important to do because no matter how disciplined you are, it is always going to happen that there are certain days where you mess it up. And a wasted session should not become a wasted day. Extremely important. So this is the second thing that you must keep in mind if you want to increase your productivity, your working hours, your study hours. Third thing, students, please remember, studying is not easy, right? Especially in our field where we have to study for long years and for long hours, it takes a toll on your mind, on your brain. And it is very cognitively demanding. You must have felt this, that after studying for 1 hour or 2 hours, you feel exhausted, right? It is very important that we avoid the burnout. We avoid the mini burnouts also that happen during the daytime, and we avoid the burnouts also. So how do we avoid these mini burnouts and burnouts? By taking proper breaks. So taking optimal breaks is an art. Why do I say so? The break should be neither too short nor too long. The break should be taken in such a way and such activities should be done in the break that you end up feeling refreshed after the end of the break and all ready to go again, all ready to study again. So now this thing varies from person to person, but I usually suggest that your study session should be between 45 minutes to 75 minutes, not more than that. And after that you can take a break of say 15 to 30 minutes. As the exam starts approaching, as you have to study more and more, of course the duration of the study hour will increase and the duration of the break time will decrease, but this is something which works decently well, right? If your study hours are longer, now there are certain people, a small minority of people who can study for long hours. They say that I study for 2 hours straight or 3 hours straight. It might work for them, but for most of the people, if you are stretching your study hours for too long, in that case you need a very long time to recuperate or recover from it. So in the end you end up actually wasting more time. Say you studied for 2 hours and then you have to take a 3 hour break. Then you end up studying actually for lesser duration of time. So taking optimal breaks is very important. More importantly, what you do during the breaks is also very important. Most of the students go on social media, right? You're watching YouTube videos or you're watching Instagram reels. Now the problem with that is, your eyes are still getting strained. Your brain is also, you keep on scrolling, and it's not really, that relaxing. You're not able to detach from the screen. Most of the students nowadays study also on the screen, and then they take the break also on the screen. So it's not so good on your eyes or the brain. Something that really works very nicely is music. Again, audio music. Don't watch the video, just music. I mean, this is something that I used to do when I was a student. When I was preparing for my PG entrance examination, I would study and then typically I would listen to 3 songs and then I would have the next session. This was right before the exam, a couple of weeks before the exam. So music is really good. Even if you want to go on social media, I would suggest that don't check social media in every break. See, social media is everywhere. You cannot really run away from it. You are watching this video also on social media. So social media would be there. You'll have to find out ways to utilize in a proper manner, or at least not waste too much of time on it. Rather than seeing social media or catching up on social media in every break, I suggest that you have 2 sessions for social media. Maybe you will see social media, say, after the lunch and after the dinner. Don't do it every hour. Rather than that, use music or maybe walk or maybe talking to somebody. Those things are more relaxing, and they also help you to recover well for the next session. This thing is also very important, that you cannot study every day. Your mind needs breaks. If you try to study every day, you might expose yourself to burnouts. And once the burnout happens, it takes many days to recover. So we have to ensure that we are giving ourselves proper rest also. So if your exams are like say 6 months away or 8 months away, then 1 out of 7 days is a good strategy. You take break once in a week. As the exam starts coming closer, say the exams are 3 months away or 5 months away, maybe 1 day break every 10 days is good. And in the last 2.5 months, I think 1 day break in every 15 days, once every fortnight is okay. But you have to take at least these many breaks. Again, these are some broad recommendations. Every student is different. Every student feels different about these things. Whatever floats your boat, whatever suits you the best is okay. But these are some broad guidelines, general suggestions that I want to give to you. So taking breaks is important. Alright, now this is extremely important. You have to give yourself feedbacks. Sometimes when I talk about feedbacks, it might appear a bit juvenile or childish, but they are very important. If you cannot improve it unless you measure it. You want to increase your study hours. If you do not even know for how many hours are you studying, how would you ever increase it? So again, there should be a piece of paper on your wall or on your desk where you write for how many hours have you been studying every day, right? And this should be, as you go down, it should be increasing. And as I keep on talking about this, it works by both positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. See, on the 1st of the month, on the 2nd of the month, on the 3rd of the month, say you studied for 8 hours, 9 hours, 3 hours. Now when the number is going up, you feel good about it. When you go to the bed after filling this form, you feel great, you feel nice that this was a good day. When you get up the next morning, you are roaring to go. Positive reinforcement. And when you have a bad day, you don't feel bad, you don't feel good about it. It's a bad day. It's an unpleasant feeling. You want to avoid having this unpleasant feeling. And to avoid having such bad days, you again are motivated to study. Negative reinforcement. Also an MCQ, by the way. Increase in a behavior because of positive consequences. Increase in a behavior to avoid the negative consequences, right? We have to use both positive as well as negative reinforcement. This is very important. Even today I use it. I have a whiteboard in front of my desk and I keep noting down for how many hours did I work properly. And when it is right in front of me, I also get driven by both positive and negative reinforcements. So it is even more important for you who is still in the student life. Now everything is good, but still you would have bad days. You are a human being. Don't expect that just because you watched a motivational video, everything will become hunky-dory. You are going to have bad days. It's a part and parcel of life. It's a part of the game. Important thing is we do not get too overwhelmed on the bad days, right? We cannot, start getting too frustrated when the bad days come, because when the frustration sets in, again it's a negative spiral that we keep getting deeper into. You are not able to study well, and then you are very frustrated that your studies are not going well, and that frustration further decreases the chances of you studying well. That further increases the frustration, and it's a vicious cycle before you realize it. So bad days will happen. If you get stuck into a bad day patch, tell yourself that these things happen. And I like talking about the survival mode, and I like giving the example of cricket. If you are a cricket fan, you know that when the team goes out, the team goes to England, the team goes to Australia, where the pitches are fast, the pitch is green, the ball is moving around, it's bouncing. That is not the time to hit fours and sixes. That is the time to survive, right? You take few blows on the body, but you hang in there. The same thing you have to do on bad days. You are not able to study that well, things are not getting into the mind, into the brain so nicely. You feel that whatever you are studying, you are forgetting it, your productivity is down, your efficiency is down, but you continue studying. On normal days, if you were able to study for 8 hours, now you are studying for 5 to 6 hours only, but you still at least study for 5 to 6 hours. You don't allow it to become zero. Even if your efficiency is not 100%, you still continue with 70%, right? You survive. You do not let it become zero. And in 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, things will again become better. The good days will be back. So this is important. The preparation for entrance examination is perhaps one of the toughest things that you will do in your life. You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to stay away from family, from friends. People are getting married, there are functions, and you are sitting in your room with the books alone, with the laptop alone, sometimes crying, sometimes feeling, why did I ever get into this field? All of us go through that phase. And then there are times when you feel very overwhelmed, when you do not know what to do. And if that happens, just sleep. A good long 10-hour sleep can fix many issues in life. When you feel things are going out of hand, just remind yourself that my mind is playing up some game, and the best way to fix mind is sleep. But if you start doing it every day, then meet a doctor, meet a psychiatrist. But if it happens once in a while, sleeping really helps you. It really restores the functioning of the brain. Also, as I said, bad days will come. And see, we doctors, we medical students, or students in general tend to be overcritical of themselves. Sometimes, people kind of flaunt it. They say, I am my biggest critique. It's unhealthy. You should not be your biggest critique. You should be your biggest support system. Just think about it. Say you had 2-3 bad days, you were not able to study well. And now a voice in your head is saying, what a loser you are. What a failure you are. Everybody will become successful. You would be left alone. People will laugh at you. Your friends will laugh at you. In first scenario, you are saying all these things to yourself. Second scenario, you wasted 3-4 days and you tell yourself, I wasted a lot of time. It happens to everybody. Now that I have wasted 2-3 days, I have to ensure that I do not waste more time. It's okay. I'm a human being. It happens. These bad times happen to almost everybody once in a while. Let me not make a big issue out of it. Let me start studying. I'm not in the rhythm. Let me go to the library. Let me go to the room of my friend and study with him. First scenario, you are criticizing yourself. What would be the effect of that criticism? You will feel even worse. You will feel sadder. You will not feel like studying. Second case, basically you are trying to give yourself support. You are trying to give yourself some answers also. You are suggesting some solutions also. The second scenario is much better. You are more likely to get into the study mode in the second scenario. In the first scenario, you are likely to harm yourself further. So, please reason with yourself. Do not criticize. A good rule of thumb is treat yourself as you would treat your younger brother or sister if he or she was in a similar situation. If your younger brother or sister comes to you and tells you that I have not been able to study for 3 days, what should I do? I am feeling very tensed. What will you tell him or her? Say the same thing to yourself. Reason with yourself. Be your support system. The whole world is there to criticize you. The whole world wants to pull you down. The whole world wants you to fail. You should not be the world. You should not be one of those people. You should be your support system. Right? Do not criticize yourself unnecessarily. It's not a good habit. It's a very bad habit. And lastly, when it comes to study hours, have realistic expectations. If today you are studying for 2 to 3 hours, don't expect that just because you watch this video or any other video for that matter, you will start studying 10 to 11 hours. It doesn't work like that. When you set unrealistic expectations for yourself, you set yourself up for failure. And then when you fail, you again become disheartened. So give yourself realistic expectations. If you're studying for 2 to 3 hours a day, make a plan that you will hit 4 hours first. After a week or so, you'll hit 6 hours. And realize that there would be times when you would not be able to do so. And gradually go to 10 to 11 hours. It is going to happen over a period of time. Give yourself realistic goals. If you give yourself unrealistic goals, you fail and then you feel bad about yourself and then you stop taking any action. So these are a couple of very practical things that usually work with most of the people. Try using these, add something if you want to, remove one or two of these if they don't work for you. But continue trying. The changes happen over a period of time. Little changes every day, little things every day, little additions every day make a lot of difference 3 months down the line or 6 months down the line. Continue to improve yourself, and when you continue to put efforts, things change a lot. There's an old saying that never bet against the guy who keeps showing up. If you keep putting efforts, finally success will be yours. All the best. May God bless you all.